is Titi Park, and she's a professional, of course. She's going to do justice to her own introduction, but let me just quickly give you a bit of background regarding at least maybe what I know about her, right? I know she's someone that she has come on our program. Like when I say not just our programs, like multiple programs that we actually run for different purposes. And she's one of those people that I say I'm grateful for people like her because she participates, right? We are currently running a mentorship program, and she's one of those people that, even when I'm telling Moina that I don't think I should be showing up for this mentorship, live and all that stuff. But when I see that, even if it is just one person that is actively participating in things, I feel like that person deserves my time. Even if it is only two people that show up, those two people are going to, get my time. And that is one of the things I just wanted to first highlight about her. She's one of those persons that they commit. They just don't commit their money, they actually commit their time. And for me, when I say professionals actually commit their time, I know it's a very, very precious thing to people that are actually busy. So thank you very much. I wanted to put that out there that I see you, I see how you actively participate in things, and I'm like, oh wow, that's commendable. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Now that I've put that out there, let's now get to the main introduction. So with me here today, like I've mentioned her name, Titi Park, she's a professional. She has gone through, I think, Group Opportunities Program. She has also gone through our WFS. And today's discussion will be centered around how, I think for me, one of the things I would like to actually see today is I call it the subtle ways in which these things may have changed, not just about the career, or basically change how you do things even beyond the career. And when I say the subtle ways, is because we have quite a number of people that come here, we talk around, I got this job, I got this, I got that, which are great things. But for me, when I actually have encounter with people that the things that people don't actually even talk about. That's what I call it, the subtle things that people don't talk about, but as actually, transformed in their life. I think I'd like us to probably even bring some light to those things, because I feel like in those things actually lies the power. In those things lies the transformation that some people are actually seeking. So let's start from the very first thing. Please, you have the floor. Do a very robust introduction of yourself. Please, I've taught you on GOP, don't mince words, right? A very robust introduction of yourself, and then we'll get to the next things. So over to you.
Okay, good evening. Yes, indeed, you did teach us a lot. So I'm Titi Park. I'm a project management practitioner with some over 2 decades experience. So I've worked in various sectors, from telecom to FMCG to insurance and construction. And I have a first degree in engineering, so I also leverage that through my career. So I think I'm not a big blower of my horn, even though you taught us. But I think as we speak, other aspects of me will come out. So let me stop there in case I could go on, but let me just follow the
I get. Don't worry, she's been humble, because I remember I personally reviewed our LinkedIn and our cover letter like some weeks ago in the mentorship program. So I'm just going to let it slide with that very humble introduction. But let's get to the main thing. So maybe the first question I always ask is, what were you looking for when you encountered iTrain Africa, and how did you even find us? Like, I'm always curious. I ask that question all the time because, again, it helps me to understand if what we are like, what we are doing, which we should be doing it for, and how we can actually amplify to the people that actually need it. So what were you looking for when you found us, and how did you find iTrain Africa?
Hey, so very easy. I found iTrain Africa on Instagram. One of those days when you're strolling through the streets of Instagram and it sends you different feeds that you were not consciously looking for. But then there's a saying that I'm a strong believer of, that if you want something so bad, nature will conspire with you to make it happen. So I was at a season of my life where I wanted to diversify on my income stream from my professional work. And I was looking for how best to do that, to be relevant to what is in demand today. And I had done a program on business analysis, and I finished that, and I didn't quite land where I wanted to be, but I'd acquired that skill anyway. So my mindset was, how can I package myself if there are any gaps, identify what the gaps are so that I can block those gaps and be more marketable. So that was where I was in life when I was going through Instagram, and I saw Dr. Adepoju, that introductory video that you have on Instagram, and I'm like, it was very striking when I first listened to it. And of course, and I love the fact that it was a woman. That was a big one for me. And I said, okay, they offered us this or a session where you come and hear more about it, low entry fee. I'm like, okay, what do I have to lose? Pay 5K, let me go and hear. If it works, if it doesn't, I will know. So I took that opportunity and I listened to that session, very exhaustive. It was like a lot. In fact, I think I had to ask for the video. Please, let me see this video again so that I can understand where I fit. There's so much information. It's so loaded, and I wanted to identify where was ideal for me. So that's how I found this opportunity, and that's where the journey began.
Interesting. I'm just smiling because, when you said that session, like, oh, what do I stand to lose? After all, it's 5K. Let me just hear what they have to say. Like, we have quite a number of people that have actually come through that route. Okay, let me even go and see what they are saying. And yeah, about Instagram. And I think, the algorithm actually knows us a lot, because sometimes when we take professional development programs, like you had said that you are taking the business development and everything, you are taking those things that improves you career-wise. The algorithm has a way of knowing, oh, this person is interested in personal development. Let me push this particular thing their way. They may be interested in it. And I think it happens a lot. I've seen quite a number of people. And when you said, and she was a woman, I just smiled because, like, a lot of the people that have come on GOP have had that sentiment too regarding, oh, she's a woman, she would understand my hustle and my plight and everything like that. Because I always tell people that it hits differently when you're a woman and you have to do personal development, because it's like you are running multiple jobs at the same time, being on the home front, being in the career, and people still expect you to hold your face and like hold it together and not crack under that weight. So I totally understand when you say that. So now that we have that out of the way, Instagram brought you to us. The second thing I would then say is, upon you then attending that particular session, the 5K session, I think, what will I say, what stood out for you in probably that 5,000 naira session that you attended that then made you proceed to other programs within the academy? What would you say was the major thing that you could hold on to from that session?
I think the biggest thing that stood out for me is the fact that you yourself, Dr. Adepoju, had walked that road. So it wasn't just a theory, it was something that I've done it and you had the results to show. So the results were there, verifiable. Go and see everything that she has done, see the organization. It was very convincing. That was a major thing for me. Another thing that also sold me was I saw people like me in the program. And you know what I mean by people like me. I consider myself a mature candidate. And I saw that people who were looking for similar things to me were also drawn to the program. It wasn't just younger people. So I didn't feel like, oh, this is something that is not meant for my kind of people. So I felt at home there. And just the volume of knowledge that was shared. There were different programs that you pitched. You had different things that you do. The ones for just you want to learn the skills, if you want to do that, if you want to do that. And I think that was what sold it for me. The fact that you have walked that road is not, you're not telling us what you think or what you studied, is not a theory, it's something that you've done yourself.
Okay, I couldn't see you for a moment. I think my network just
Yeah.
had a quick break for a while.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I heard was like the fact that you're seeing people like you match very, you know, it felt like, okay, I think I'm in the right place. And yeah, I think for us, it's typically, I know when I create content on my personal page, that is my Adoration Life Project page, I typically, in fact, something we do that I always content, so I need to create things that actually speak as a professional. Like whenever I'm creating content for, let's say, youth, this thing, it's a different kind of content. But whenever I'm speaking to professionals, for me, it's not about the amount of trick that is on that page. It's about there are some group of people that people don't create things for. Let me put it that way. That's number one. Or even when people create things for them, they don't really understand the kind of stuff. Like whenever I tell people that the kind of things I teach on the GOP is about how can you attract chasing stuff. I don't want you, and at the same time, the kind of things you are looking for are not small things. Let me put it that way. So it's always hard for people to actually find people that can carry coach leaders that are already succeeding and they just need to succeed more or scale, expand, right? Everybody is easy to just teach theory at the very base and teach theory and say get one, one virtual assistant, which is not a bad thing. I always say it's not a bad thing, but saying that there are some category of people that have gotten past that place. They don't even need a job. Let's even start. I always say quite a number of people in my programs don't need a job on the Global Opportunities program. They simply need things that are beyond jobs. And it takes somebody, like you said, probably who has worked that part to be able to understand what the need is. It's like someone should be flashing job program in my face right now. I'll just be looking at you like, because truly, that's not like maybe what I need. But you would be pushing that because again, I'm not at the entry level. Like at this point in time, I could work for free. Like I could actually do work for free. So far, it meets certain other criteria for me in terms of fulfillment and every other thing. So I totally get that when it comes to the kind of people that comes on those kind of advanced program, which is one of the reasons that I think for a program like Global Opportunities Program, we had to turn it. I think last year was it last year we had to turn it into an application only program. Why? Because I needed to ensure that the kind of people that eventually get into that program is a kind of people that eventually they can support their own growth and network in terms of how they scale. I need to know I have some certain kind of people in that network. So I totally get that. Now let's move on to, I think after, I'm not certain which of our programs you enrolled for first, whether it was a WFS or GOP, but I think it was GOP. I don't know. You probably have to say. But again, what then made you, what informed your decision to enroll for both WFS and the Global Opportunities Program at that stage in your life?
Okay, so I think you made it easy for me because what I was looking for was the GOP, but you made a strong case that there are certain basic skills that you had to be sure that people had so that it will not be an impediment in positioning yourself. So it was like buy one, get one free for me because I paid for one and I got the other. So that was it. And believe me, even though I consider myself a bit savvy with using all this workplace technology, but I still gained a lot of value from the other tools that I'm not so conversant with, which I can use today and brag about. So I mean, for example, Canva. Canva was a bit of a mystery to me in that place, and I don't have to use it, so I didn't bother. But those kinds of things have opened my eyes to other possibilities, how you can use them even in your day-to-day work.
Interesting. And I like that. And I keep saying this, and not because I'm the innovator of that curriculum. I always say, I think that one of the biggest things I found out when I was developing that curriculum is the fact that quite a lot of people who have worked for years don't actually know what they don't know. And that's always a bad place to be. I always say, when you know what you don't know, you go and search for it. Like it's like saying, "Oh, I'm not very good with project management. Let me go and look for project management." Do you understand? You know you don't know that. The thing about WFS when we are curating it is, I say what are the things that you may never even know you don't know it until you have to use it? Or you may not even know you don't use it and you are using something else that is making your life really hard. Then you then discover that, oh wow, so this could have done this for me. Someone that we interviewed, I think 2 weeks ago, Mohammed Abubakar, is a product designer, is very tech savvy. He's a product designer, just like you're a product manager. Do you understand? And it was like, Doc, you would not believe it. Now, when I went through the Canva lesson and I realized that I would have had to download Adobe Sign, Adobe this thing to sign, and you just should have just upload your document and sign on Canva. I was like, Doc, I was like, really? I've gone through this amount of stress in my life just to be signing a PDF document when I could have just done this. I was like, that's a funny thing. As in, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So when you don't know what you don't know, you're not even on the lookout to learn it because that's basically it, right? You're not going to be looking out to learn it until somebody does it in front of you and like, oh, wow, like, wow, I could have just done this. So for me, it's like, it's always a discovery for me. Earlier today, because, we are re-recording the Workplace Fundamental Skills program. And the beauty of me teaching that thing or continually innovating that curriculum is that new things happen, new things crop up. Like the lesson I recorded today was around data analysis for every type of work in the workplace, and which of course was on the previous curriculum, and reporting in the workplace. Again, why did I have to add those two lessons to the new WFS? I realized that for most people, the way work has evolved in the global space right now, ability to do projects management, ability to analyze data analysis, and ability to do reporting, it's no longer luxury and it is no longer profession specific and not even level specific. Because I look at an entry level staff in my organization, someone that resumed in September, like technically entry level, she has to manage her own projects. Let me put it that way. How do I mean? She's not a project manager, she's a sales representative, for instance. But I expect that every member of staff that I have, you join me in a meeting virtually, you join me in a meeting physically, I am only going to be discussing strategic things. It means that in us discuss, and which is what I think for me, my exposure to the global space, that was when it shook me that the way Africans work, the way we have been made to think work is actually, it's not the way work is in the global space. In this space, they handhold you. They will say, oh yeah, take that document. When you finish signing, come back, I'll give you the next instruction. Do you understand? They micro manage you. So, and you're not actually giving, before you find thinkers in the African context of work, they've gotten to like 15 years of experience before they allow you to get to the thinking level. But I operate a startup that I operate from a place of a global perspective. Of you going through my onboarding system, you must deliver at that kind of level. Like, you must be able to listen to what was being said, extract the one that concerns you based on your JD, take it and go and create your own base to manage your task and come back and report to me weekly. Right? So I realized that for everybody that has joined my team, they have had to learn project management in quotes on the job, because for every time you are doing something that has a start and stop time, it is a project. So if I tell in this quarter, I say in the sales department, I want you to be able to XYZ, and for you to do that, you need to initiate a community initiative where you can put along. You are doing a project as a salesperson, right? Because I have given you that target for that quarter and it has a timeline. So it simply means I expect you to go and structure it. And I just sat down and I looked at it that the way the world of work is evolving, the way the thing evolving the global space, everybody needs to have basic project management knowledge. Everybody needs to have basic data analysis knowledge, and everybody needs to be able to report. So for me, that was one of the biggest things, which is why I'm always pushing professionals that even have experience. I say, I'm not asking you to even take WFS as a course. I'm not asking you to take it as a, like take it because you want to get a virtual assistant job. I'm asking you to take it because it will really support your next stage of growth, You need to understand that this thing has become fundamental in any standard workspace. And for you, it is even more important than an entry level, because I see quite a lot of professionals that they have gotten to that stage where they are now having teams, even in their current organizations, or they are having stakeholders in other continents. They're having stakeholders that are not in their region. And those stakeholders expect that they called you a boss in this particular thing now. They don't expect to be teaching you presentation, right? As in, I said, not just black and white presentation. I'm talking about presentation that are really visual, that really has all those effects. They don't expect to teach you. And guess what? You don't have an EA that probably you would have delegated it to. You have to do it, stakeholders. And you get to those meetings and you see your counterpart, and your counterparts from India, from this thing, are doing magic with presentation. And you are sitting right there and you're looking at yourself like I am representing my country from the. So they would have presented fluff, like they will package fluff like this in colorful slides. And you are there. You have great work, but you are doing black and whites. Like black and whites. You are not doing all the effects. So I say at the end of the day, you have gone to represent your country, or you gone to represent your work, or whatever it is you went to represent, and you did not give the best what you could do. Simply because something as small as being able to design a colorful presentation on Canva, which is why I always say it is a personal thing for me, because I witnessed it firsthand in the UK. And I would sit and I would watch other PhD students like, and I'm like, hey, dearie, like, it was like, what? See what people are doing with data. See what people are doing with their design. You are here, you are doing Excel sheet presentation. What is this nonsense you are doing, right? So it came from a place of, it was very pitiful, because you are at that stage where to even ask the question, shame will be catching you. So I always encourage people, say, if you start your life or your career at a time major thing, please just breeze through WFS. I beg you, so you can play catch up with every other person, because you are not going to be excused that you started when technology was a thing. So thank you so much for saying, even if you're in project management, you're in that space, it is a tech space, right? Everybody talks about Canva, how they learned one thing or two in Canva that actually changed the way they did things. So if you had to pick one lesson in Canva based on the fact that you picked that one out, that you say, oh, I remember using this after this in my workspace, or it might be one, it might be two, it might be not even be Canva you want to refer to, what would you say that particular lesson is and how you used it afterwards?
First of all, I'm jealous that you added data analysis, those new things that you added, and I missed that in WFS. But that said,
Don't
I
worry, we are
think,
doing a rejoin option. Is it what's that thing we are doing for alumni? A reassess or something like that. I think whatever it is that the current this thing is. So for instance, I think if WFS is 100K right now, you pay 50K to have another year of access or something like that. I can't remember what, as in my team, I approved for my team like last week, that I know that they had put out in their alumni
okay, awesome,
community.
awesome.
So please go
So
ahead.
aside from what I'm going to touch on Canva, but the biggest, I got an aha moment using Google Sheets. Was it the word? There was an assignment we did in WFS. Me, that I consider myself a guru, I never knew that you could add, like the way you add worksheets in Excel, you could add that. You know, they say, go do it in this. When I first of all saw the question, I was like, what are you talking about? Do they have sections? And lo and behold, they were there. So that was another eye-opening moment for me with a tool that I think I'm very, very conversant with. Then for Canva, I think the biggest thing that impacted me in Canva was how you can customize a template. In fact, there are many. Using Canva to design your banner in LinkedIn was big. How you can do that and manipulate, and it gives you a standout banner, because if you look at maybe 10 profiles in LinkedIn, only one or two might have that distinguishing feature as in being well formatted, looking attractive. So I learned that it was big. And then using presentation templates and customizing them. There was an exercise you gave us that we had to use just, I mean, it makes life so easy. You don't have to think about it from start to finish. There's a template. Follow this template. The templates are there, they're tried, they're proven. You just replace information and customize it with what is relevant to you, and you're good to go. Saves a lot of time. You don't have to start thinking, okay, what should slide 1 be? What should slide 2 be? It tells you the entire story. You just replace it with this template, and you're good to go.
Plug and play.
So it saves so much time. Plug and play. So I think that was really great for me.
I like that. I always tell people it's smart work, it's not hard work, because somebody has done it. Why am I reinventing the wheel? Like, there are things to use my brain for, strategic things. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. You know, I think there was one particular thing. I think I still showed it on Canva today when I was recording that lesson. I said, I was teaching about reporting on, and I said, okay, let's just go to Canva and search for a reporting template. I just put reporting data, monthly reporting data, one thing, and he brought it. He really taught the 5 things that should be in a report. In this thing, like let me say what and all that, the activity, the results, and everything. I taught that 5-step framework, and I said, now let's go to Canva and find templates for this particular thing. I just taught you the framework. And we got to Canva today in the lesson. I said, oh, see, this particular thing already follows my template. So again, for me, I also think that ability, because some people say, oh, just go to Canva. I say, when you don't, I think people don't actually utilize certain tools because they don't even know what they're looking for. So for someone like me, I've thought like this particular framework I thought today about what should be in a standard report. I know what should be in a report. So it means that anybody that also learns what should be in a report, when they go to Canva and they find a report that doesn't follow what should be in it, they would know. And I think that is always a challenge between people learning from YouTube and people learning from people that are experienced. Because for me, you come to my team, you are reporting to me. My team members know. In the last quarterly meeting we had, someone was reporting on my team. I was like, stop there. This is not a report. As in, you would go back and redo a report for me. Do you understand? Because where is what should have been done? Where is it? You are just reporting activity. You are reporting your to-do. This is not a report. Do you understand? So sometimes I feel like the limitation also is that people know there's the existence of
Hello, I think she's experiencing network glitch. We'll be back soon.
Okay,
Hold on, ma'am.
thanks. So while we wait, let me just drop another Canva story. So like last week, my sister told me she wanted to do a brochure, some kind of travel brochure kind of thing. And guess what? I checked on Canva and there was a template right there, making the work easy with the nice photos, the nice layouts, what you would have to pay a graphic artist to do for you. Is there available for you to use? Welcome back, Doc. I was telling them another Canva story while we're waiting for you to come back. We can't hear you. You're
no
muted.
problem. Go ahead. Please go ahead with your story. Like I was just switching my network. My AdWire network is misbehaving for some reason. So thank you so much for asking for these subtle things is the fact that sometimes you don't know how much our life has changed in terms of small knowledge. I always call it small knowledge. I always refer to a program that I joined 4 years ago. That program, a lot of people were complaining, oh, I joined this program. I did not gain anything. I paid 250,000 naira, as in, that particular quarter I joined. And I was telling somebody that I did not join the program to go and learn anything. And they were looking at me like, are you joking? How will you pay 250,000 naira 4 years ago to not go and learn anything? I said, I wanted to be in that room with business owners so that I can figure out what I don't know yet. And they were like, I said, yeah. Sometimes I go, like, because I, as a business person, I started from a very high place in terms of I went to like business labs, innovation lab. I was part of innovation lab in Singapore. I was part of the first womenpreneur pitch a ton. So I got my knowledge from the highest places before I started to then pay coaches in Nigeria. So a lot of the things that a lot of people will teach in their coaching program, I didn't know it. Like I didn't even know more than they know. And people say, why do you then still pay this money every year for personal? I said, the fact that I want to sit in the same room with people who are on the same journey with me so that sometimes I can just listen and figure out, oh, I said there are two things. Is that I know that I'm not in this journey alone, like we are feeling the same pain, or I want to just be able to listen because I would never know when things are beginning to pass me by. I would not know when things have changed. I may not know if I don't know something. So I just sit in the room and listen. So I will say, oh, so this kind of thing, not because I specifically want to go and learn how to run a business. I want to figure out what I don't know. And that is what I always encourage. When people tell me that, oh, I paid for this, I say, please, when you are paying for a program, one of the things you should always look at is the people in the room. Because sometimes they hold the key to something tiny, in the quote, tiny. In my case, then, something came up on that entire program, and it was about DM marketing, like how you actually have proper DM market and DM conversations. Since that 4 years ago, I have used that DM conversation to train multiple team members on how you actually have DM conversations. If I think through the amount of revenue DMing has brought us at iTrain Africa, I have collected my money multiple times back from that training. But at the time of the training, somebody said, but I did not learn anything. It was only, they'll just say, it was only. I always tell people that you cannot quantify knowledge as only. Because when you start to use it and reap it, it will be, the person is long gone. So I think my mindset around knowledge has always been, let me just see if there is anything I don't know. So that the time I would need it, I will have it, hold it, and use it in that time. I don't want to wait till I am at an interview of $10,000, $15,000 to now realize what I don't know. That is a very costly mistake because the opportunity is gone. I don't want to put myself in that situation. Now, speaking of GOP, it's a framework that teaches different things. And I always tell people that I don't even think LinkedIn is a high point of that framework for me. It's always about the beginning. But let me ask you, when you joined GOP, like again, I'm sure you are thinking, oh, I will optimize my LinkedIn and everything like that. I think what would I say shocked you the most when you entered GOP program?
Oh, I think the biggest discovery shocker for me was that framework that you do, like the 7-step framework that is almost like a secret tool for anything you want to do. That was the biggest, if that's the only thing I learned, I struggled. So because it did one thing for me, like I said, I was in between stages, if I can call it that. And going through that process gave me the confidence I need to go for things that are in that stage where I wanted to be. Do you understand? So I was here and I wanted to climb here. And I now got the framework that's like, whatever is here, I can do it. I have what it takes. Because doing that self-assessment, digging deep, narrowing down to just those things that are critical. What is the most important? I mean, there's a lot of things that you've done here, there. Pick what is relevant to people that might be looking out for places that you want to be. So that gave me big confidence. I told you I got an inbox just from that thing. It wasn't where I wanted to be, but it was a major tool. I got an inbox to apply for a particular program, which I applied for. Very competitive, but it's not that you just write. You write, they will say you've passed this stage, move to the next stage before we select you. I was selected for the program and I got like 75% scholarship on that program, which was fantastic for me. I think I shared it in the group. So that tells me that I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right things. And I know how to position, how to make myself more visible. And I've even told few people that, no, you cannot feel like an authority because you walk that road. And I can tell people, there's something wrong. I mean, I can't say how many people I've referred to the program. And it's just been very big for me. So that 7-step profile framework was just very magical. I use it for anything I want to do. You know how you taught us. I want to speak to this audience. I was asked to come and speak somewhere. I use it to tweak my profile. I do different versions of my same self, depending on what I'm positioning for. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, like I like that. When we first started GOP, we had 2 courses, profile building and platform optimization. You could buy one. When I got to that point and I'm like, people would then come and say they want to buy LinkedIn optimization. I said, have you bought this one? They will say, no. I said, I will not allow you buy this one. And they're like, no, it is LinkedIn. I said, there is nothing to optimize if you've not built a profile. I said, you're not optimizing anything. The word optimization means that something is working. You now want to make it better. Like, did you first build what is working? That's always a thing. And I think we had to make, I think it was in the second year of me creating that program, I merged it as in there was no option. It's not an option. It's not like this. You cannot buy one. It is a program. You have to pay for it because it is not a complete framework until you have actually done the very first part. So whenever people say, oh, is it not LinkedIn? I said, no, I'm not a LinkedIn optimization coach. I teach you to build you that you can now put on LinkedIn that would shine. Because if you have not built that you, using that stepping framework, you are playing. That's why people tell me that I've been on LinkedIn for years. I said, nothing will happen because you did not do the profile building. And all the thing you are trying to then showcase on LinkedIn is not there, right? It's not there. So until you have actually done that, you cannot in any get into those spaces. Because going on LinkedIn and wearing suits and doing all those LinkedIn challenge is not going to get you the kind of opportunities, at least not at the high level kind of stuff. Can you, I just look at people like, hello, the things, I know there's something I used to tell you about you, I said the things that brought you here cannot take you there. Because at the very bottom of the ladder of your career, certifications here and there can help you get to the next promotion. I said, once you get to a certain stage, you have to bring more to the table. I keep saying it on GOP. So you have to bring more because you now have people under you. And those people under you, you have to, they will do the menial work, the certifications and all those skills work. You need to be at the more strategic level. And when someone is going to get you into their team, whether it is for an opportunity like yours, they are looking at that strategic aspect. And I keep seeing people go on LinkedIn for lack of understanding how much they need to build their profile. They start to teach tutorials. They start to do ChatGPT kind of content. And I'm looking at you like, so you think me, or you think someone in UN Live will come and give you 10K, $10,000, whatever, or give you an opportunity that is worth that amount or more off the back of your ChatGPT content. You are joking. As in, you are joking. I think I kept hammering to you on GOP. Please, I use God to beg you. Don't go and use ChatGPT to build your profile. Don't try it. because no one is going to pay you or give you those kind of opportunities by you getting content of Google and pasting it, or getting content of ChatGPT and pasting it. Nobody pays you that kind of money. Nobody gives you those kind of opportunity through plagiarism, through copy and paste kind of work. And that for me is always why I like to hammer on profile building. I said, if you can learn the 7-step framework of building my profile the way I taught you, you will keep using it everywhere. LinkedIn, you will use it. They call you for speaking engagement, you will use it.
Exactly.
They say, come and get one award, you will use it. They say, come and do this. You will even use it for academic scholarship. Because I remember, I think Professor Fumi said, Doc, I use it to actually frame my fellowship in the academic space, and I got the fellowship. I said, Doc, that framework, you just need to understand it, and you'll be tweaking it for different purposes of any category of global opportunity, and you will still be getting it. I said, that is the beauty of it. And the fact that for you now, you're currently in project management, people are in academics, people are in HR, and they follow the same framework, and everybody is getting their result. That for me is golden. And when you said something about you got an inbox for a program, you got into step 1, step 2, step 3, you got to the final stage, and you got 75% of scholarship for that particular opportunity. And I'm like, the magic happened when someone reached out to you inbox. That is where the magic has happened. And what makes those reach out, I always call it, it's called inbound interest. What facilitates inbound interest on LinkedIn is your profile. Anybody can quote me anywhere. Actually, it is not in the graphic design of your this thing. It is the content, the messaging of your profile. Until you get it right, you'll be laboring on LinkedIn for nothing. When I tell people that at this stage of your career, with your years of experience, please just, can you relax? Spend your resources and time in building a profile so you can get inbound opportunities, because at that time, you have an advantage. Instead of you spending hours and hours trying to do the things that would end up not counting. Will it count in your followers? Maybe. You'll keep having 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 followers. It will count in your followership. But will it count in opportunities that you actually desire? Most likely not. Because the things that get opportunities, that get sensible people on LinkedIn to reach out to you, is not in the flashy stuff that you get done. So I like that was your best part, because that is still today. I tell people that in that framework, when I call it PPP framework, that is profile building, platform optimization, positioning, the profile is what I feel like it took the best part of my intellectual property. Like that was deep. Like it was deep. It took the best part of my brain. Even till now, when I'm teaching it in live workshops during those programs, I feel like every time I hold that session, I feel like I just did a brain drain, like brain drain from my head. And I'm so glad that it's been maybe 5, 6 years since the first development of that framework, and it is still working. Now let's go to the live sessions, like I mentioned. We had to do live sessions on like every week, 7 to 10 p.m. on Fridays and everything like that. I know you attended those. I remember you attending those live sessions, right? And in those live sessions, we used to have interactions. People come and give update about this is what I did last week, this is what I did this week. I'll just say basically, how easy, it's not even easy. Don't let me use that word. What kept you showing up for live sessions? And when it still comes to live sessions, will you say there were extra takeaways for you in the live session that made you show up week in, week out, 7 to 10 p.m. on Fridays?
What made me keep showing up is, I think you mentioned it, from the beginning, I asked myself, will you be able to commit? So I'd answered that question in the very beginning. So it wasn't about, not showing up was not an option. For the one that I may have missed, I had to go and catch up. So that was a commitment, because I wasn't going to, I understand something about programs. Sometimes what you get out of it is a function of what you give. So you cannot do it wishy-washy and expect it to work for you. You have to follow every step. You have to do what you're told to do and be committed if you want to see the results that you are looking for. So that helped me very easily. Then the second question was, even during those sessions, I learned from, the people who who maybe you showcase something that they've done. They say, okay, the first two people will look at what you've done. I learned from them. Or so I thought. Until it was my own turn. I don't know if you remember the day that you reviewed my own profile. I thought I had learned everything that, this work, I finished work. That's how I felt. But every time you show up to do a session is a learning. Even today, now, I'm supposed to just be talking about my experience. I still took notes about something that you said. I learned from it. So that continuous learning, the quality of what of the content continues to sharpen you and continues to prepare you. So I think there were very great exchanges and building sessions for me. And I'm very glad that I was able to do those.
Thank you very much. So we're going to move beyond the programs and beyond the GOP program, because I know typically we have support on the program, like in the group, like in the WhatsApp group, in the communities after. And I think that's where you had shared about the opportunity that you had gotten and everything like that. And most of the time, I feel like there are some people that actually built quality relationships off the back of that group. And I actually still see them actually have conversations. Like sometimes I like some of them, I see them on LinkedIn, on each other's LinkedIn posts and all those, and I'm like, oh wow, like did they know themselves before before they joined the program and everything like that? But I have seen it, and it just, I see that beyond the program, some people have actually gotten. So did that happen for you? Is there someone that you feel like, oh, on the program I was able to, have conversations with, or, basically just have build some kind of relationship, whether it is just, LinkedIn kind of stuff with on the program, like after the program for you?
Okay, so let me first of all make a confession with that program. In that cohort is a colleague of mine who I referred to the program, and she joined WFS. So that is my paddy from before.
Okay.
But there was this system that they implemented when you join the program. They pair you with an accountability partner. So for me, it's like I was paired with somebody that I've known from before. I mean, we had so much in common. I don't think that the people who paired us could have known that unless they did some background work. We had so much in common. We're from the same place, eh?
Right.
Yes. So it was like, you're my sis. And, we just gelled, like the support. Sometimes when she does stuff, check this for me. Did I do it right? Check this for me. How does it sound? We sharpen each other. We support each other. Even when I had a personal life situation that happened to me during the program, she reached out to me. You haven't been coming. What happened? So we shared, and she supports me in that kind of way. So I think that relationship is one that definitely will transcend that 90-day challenge when it's over, because we just hit it off so much. And I know that, we have a lot to continue to discuss, to share, even outside of the work, just general life as well. So that was really, really fantastic. I gained a sister through that program.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. And why I say that is really nice is, for me, at this stage in my life, I always say it is hard to build relationships as you climb up. Very hard. I kid you not. I always tell people that there's a friend of mine right now that I'm really grateful for, and I made her in adulthood in the last couple of years, Amara. Because we are now, I feel like the best place to find people that get you in your stage of life right now is through programs that you people paid commonly for. Because it simply eliminates something. Whoever is in a program with me, we have certain values that align. It means the person is not that person that will be like, because I see some people. There's a program I paid for recently. That program is in December. I paid ₦1 million. And someone will look at you and say, hey, like, let them be lying to you. All those kind of mindsets. And I'm like, yeah, I don't intend. I know if you're the person telling me that kind of thing, you cannot be in my circle. Because me and you are not aligned. Like, we are not going to the same place. We don't have the same orientation. We are not thinking alike. So it is all right. But me, I know when I get to that program, whoever pay that same amount, I'm going to meet them in the room. We are going to the same place. So it is very, very easy for us to talk about things. So if I'm talking about, oh, I want to make $1 billion, the person is not afraid, because whoever paid that also probably has that kind of orientation. And that is why I feel like, when people say in this country that rich people do rich people's friends, I say it is because the conversations that happen in those rooms, they are already aligned. And that is what happens when you find people on your growth journey. When I tell people that when I embarked on this growth journey like 5 years ago, I did not drop friends, but friends dropped. Let me put it that way. Because we no longer were talking about the same things. We no longer were aligned. We were not going to the same place anymore. And so for me, when my friend, who is Amara, her name is Amara, right? When I met her through a common program, again, a program I had paid $700 for then in 2019, and she paid for that same program at $2,000 in 2020. Then somehow in that person's comment section, we said, oh, this person, so, oh, you went to this person's program. That's how we became friends. Again, program aligned us until now. Like, I was chatting with her before. I was like, oh, babe, I need to go. I have a live session. She's like, okay, go, 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 go. After, we'll continue to gist, right? And if you check our gist, 90% of the gist is like, that something, something. So this revenue, have you, like, 90% of our gist is about the things that brought us together, the place we want to go, because that particular program was like a business program that brought us together. So we continue to align in that way. And that is why, for me, I keep saying it, that we strategically build programs at iTrain Africa to transcend learning. Because when I started iTrain Africa, I said we are going to be ABC. Awareness about what you need, because a lot of people don't know what they need. We are going to build blueprint program. That is ABC, awareness, blueprint programs. And I was very specific about blueprint programs. I didn't just say programs. There's a difference between blueprint programs and programs. Blueprints means, let me teach you, I am doing it. This is my life. I have walked the road. Let me show you the blueprints. I am not going to come here and pack, even to our ebooks, their blueprint knowledge product or programs. Blueprint. And I said the third one, which is the C, is a community. So it was awareness about what you need, blueprint programs, community. So that C is a major thing for us. Like, community of people that are going to the same place, that can always find support on that journey together. So, which is why I always ask, please, I said, I need to know the vision I had for this thing when I started it. Are we still doing the ABC of iTrain Africa? If we are not, we have to start continually like building that community to ensure that we are all succeeding together. I keep saying, when I started this global opportunities journey, teaching people how to, be globally at par, I and I still feel a lot of Africans are disadvantaged, not because of the lack of existence of opportunities. There are plenty, but lack of knowledge, information, and clarity on how to match up to existing opportunities. Now, based on where you are, I think we are completing the 60-day challenge. That is the bonus of the program, which is a mentorship program, which you are a part of, the very first cohort of the mentorship program, right? And I think we are completing that challenge in a day or two or thereabout. And I'm asking myself, because you are one of the people that have actively participated in the mentorship program, and I'm going to ask you, that particular bonus, I think I said, if you get into this iTrain Africa through as in you buy the two programs together, you get to be part of that mentorship program, right? And it's about 60 days, the challenge. Apart from WFS, apart from GOP, what would you say is one of your biggest takeaways from the 60 days mentorship program or challenge that we have embarked on? What is you can mention 1, 2, 3. What's your biggest takeaway? I want to understand, because this is the first time I'm running that mentorship program at iTrain Africa. Yeah.
I think for me, that mentorship program, I wrote it here when I was reflecting, is like icing on the cake. I wasn't expecting it. So you can see the way I attacked it. I said, aha, this thing has come. No way, it's not going to leave me behind. But I think, one, the step every day, the way that program works, every day you're given a task for the day. And that is basically taking you like back to the start of all the things that you have learned. So today, some of those tasks may look very simple. Do this and report. Do that and report. But it is holding your hand through every step. You will utilize everything that you were taught in that program. And you will begin to see the impacts of it. So again, when you're being taught stuff, when you're watching the videos, going through the modules, a lot of things, you think you grabbed it. It is when it's time for you to use it that you know that actually I didn't quite grab everything. So having somebody hold your hand, that's coaching, that's mentoring, and that periodic checking where you have what you're doing being reviewed. It's like, in case you didn't get it the first time, if you don't get it now, then forget it. But it's so easy to do that. It gives you in bite size. You never get more than what you can handle in a day. And you can finish it in a day. And if you miss one day, you can actually catch up on multiple days. So it's been golden. Being able to implement everything we're supposed to do on our LinkedIn, being taught how to engage on LinkedIn. Because it's one thing to have the tool, but what then do you do with it? Is it just, and then they're teaching you tips that make you stand out, how to write articles, what kind of articles, even how to engage on LinkedIn. It was through there that I learned that it's not everybody you'll be following, because there's an algorithm that is watching to see what you're doing that will bring those opportunities your way. So it's really loaded. It's a life tool, just like you said, project management is a life tool. I'm a practitioner. At some point, I used to teach it to primary school students, because if Africa has to stand out, you can. These are something that you cannot say you don't know where. So this is the same. It's a life skill. If you want to make a difference in your professional life, you have to understand the unspoken etiquette of being a professional. Nobody will write everything down for you in a book one by one. But at that 60-day challenge, they will be teaching you one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And then you will get it. There's no way you go through that and you will not be able to look back and see the improvements in your own journey, where I was and where I've come to. There's no way you go through and you will not see that, except you don't do what you're supposed to do. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you so much. This is the very first major feedback I'm getting about the mentorship program. When I say the first major, of course, we're about to, it's ending, right? And I remember, because, for me, I'm a curriculum innovator, right? I'm a program innovator. I keep innovating to see how can learning be improved. And I remember that last year, people used to pay me to come and work with me one-on-one. And in the last quarter of last year, I said, I know they do again. As in, like, it doesn't matter, because I feel like at this point, I need to actually prioritize how I spend my time and the number of people that gets impacted with that particular thing. And thank God I did, because as we got into the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship this year, like my heart has been shaking with leading the team on this particular thing. It's been a lot, I can't even lie. It's been a lot to being in that accelerator, maximize it, and also my team grew by over 300% in the last couple of months, and me training people and doing all that stuff. So it's a good decision I did that. But I said to myself that I still wanted to be able to support people, like beyond the program support, beyond the program. Because I feel like a lot of people, their challenge is not the number of courses they bought. It is about implementation beyond courses. And I told Moina, I said, Moina, I want to do a mentorship program, but the criteria is people will not pay me for it. Like they would have paid me for it, they would have to pay million. I said, I don't want payment in money. I said, but they must have gone through my program, because if I am going to be giving you bit-sized things to do, you must have knowledge from somewhere, which is on the courses and on this thing. You cannot be someone who has not gone through my program. And I'm giving you assignments. I'm dropping a link for you to say, please access this Google this thing, and make a copy and fill it in your this thing. Or you are creating Google Drive and you're telling me, ma, you now be sending me edit requests. Edit requests as how? As in, do you understand? So you must have gone through WFS to go and learn fundamentals first. So when we come here, we are coming to implement. I don't want you coming here and come and be asking me question that I cannot answer because you have not gone through your course. So I remember telling Moina that the criteria for anybody getting into this mentorship program is that they must have taken the offers that we gave in that workshop. So and when they enter here, we can then start to talk about implementation. You cannot implement what you don't know. You must come into that mentorship program with knowledge. And I get those kind of requests. Some people say, I say, I cannot even mentor you because even my staff, I give them, I say, when a staff joins my organization, I say, my sister, I cannot teach you workplace skills. Join this course. Take the workplace skills. Like right now, one of the things I want to do in my team that I gave my operations manager, I said, we need to redo. I did a training for my staff like last 2 months on reporting and appraisal. But I realized that their reporting still has some things that they need to learn in terms of specific reporting things that they need to bring to me. And I told Zainab that, Zainab, I need to reteach reporting. But as I was going to create the lesson today, I said, I will make sure that I use case study that once I finish recording this part of this reporting, I will just tell my staff, you have till next week to watch this lesson that I created today. Do you understand? So that when you are coming to end of month meeting, first week of November, you are using this thing that I've taught you. So when people ask me, WFS, I say, see, even me, I don't even have time to even mentor my staff that see me every day, right? Of course, apart from, I'm talking about mentorship or training in regards to work. Mentor, like normal life mentorship, is that one is like, let me say, it comes with me being their boss, right? But I'm not talking about when it comes to me mentoring you on these things I am teaching. My sister, please, can you learn on the course? So when you are not having challenges with implementation, you cannot say, oh, you cannot figure out how do it like this. Challenges with implementation is easy. I always say mentorship comes from a place of you don't come from the ground and ask people to mentor you at the ground. Get to somewhere first. So that people can then support you to get to the next stage of what you want to go. The work of you lifting yourself from the ground, that one is totally on you. And that I always tell people that you are in a place in your life that you consider that you are on the bottom level. They ask you to attend trainings, to do this, to do that, and you are averse to all those things. No one is coming to save you. You need to save yourself at that point first. Like it is standard. When I was at that point in my life, I called myself Aderisola. Like, in Yoruba, they would say, Allah tishe biloma matishara, meaning I needed to figure out, I was going to fix myself before I come and start seeking mentorship. And I remember I had gone through programs. So when Mrs. Ibukwan then released her very first mentorship announcement in June of 2019, I had first paid $700 to learn the basics from another person's program. I had gotten into 2-3 programs. So when mentorship came, it met me at a point that it's just small push I needed to get to the next phase in my life. And that is how I always say, if you're in this room and you are listening, I just feel the urge to say, please, if you're at that point, and when I say bottom, I don't mean bottom that you do, because in 2019, when I say I was at the bottom of where I needed to then get to the next phase of my life, I was not doing bad though. Let's be honest. As when I said I was not doing bad, like let me say I had a business I'd been running. I was in Unilag teaching. Do you understand? So it was not like I was bottom this thing, but for me, I was at the bottom because I felt like the next place I needed to be, this is a bottom. Do you understand? I needed to get to somewhere that this is not where I wanted to be in my life, right? So please, at that point, what I first did was carry my money, or maybe borrowed money actually, to go and fix myself. Then Now I started to look for people that then done what I wanted to do, which was at the time Mrs. Ebukumawashika, and then associate with those people to get to the next phase of my life. And that is what I keep doing. Like power of association. And that is why that mentorship, I told this thing, I said, I remember that we were supposed to start that mentorship like 2 months before we actually started it. I told Moina, I said, I wasn't clear about the curriculum and how that challenge was going to go. I just didn't have clarity around when I started to look at how do we operate this, how do we do this in such a way that it is different from what we had already done. And finally, it was me and Moina that worked on that particular project. She worked on this. I said, okay, I think amend here, amend here, amend here. Let's implement it and see if it is useful. If it is useful, then we can continue it and probably do it once a year or twice a year for people who need bit-sized support on implementation. Now, we have 10 minutes to round off. I'm going to then put this as like an open this thing. If you had to say anything, or no, before this question is going to be like, let me say, of course, I wanted to talk about the subtle things. You had mentioned some win about how somebody reached out to you. Aside those wins, are there any other subtle wins that you would like to talk about in terms of results from any of the program, whether it is the WFS program, the GOP program, or the mentorship after? Subtle wins, big wins, loud wins, small wins that you would like to talk about.
Now I have to report myself. Which subtle wins? Because based on the knowledge I have, I've worked with my younger sister and my brother. In fact, I invited my brother to this program. He came to that first session, and I've kind of used it to coach them to kind of improve their own personal profiles. And that's as far as I got with them. But I've used it to coach them. And I know people often come to me to ask me for advice. I'm trying to do this. I've always been that kind of person who mentors sort of informally people. But I even have more verifiable tools now that I can say, look, this program, if you have the money, put your money together, go and do it. You get the full 360 degrees benefit of it. I'm telling you, and the biggest thing there is after going through that, you have that 60-day challenge, which is a mentorship. Who does that? Who's going to sit down with you and start pointing a finger for you every day? Step 1, do this. I'm telling you, nobody does that. I haven't seen it. So anybody who has the sense and the patience and the commitment to invest in that is going to come and tell the story. So I don't know. I don't think it gets better. I can use it to empower others to the limits that I can without infringing on, your space and your patent, your copyright, and I can also, like I said, there's something I'm targeting now in my career, and I can't speak to it, but they brought out the job description, and I'm like, I'm like, is that all? Is that all? Wait for me when I finish packaging. You people will know. You will know. So I'm not inundated. Before, if I had seen that thing, I would have said, this one passed me. But I'm already in my head structuring how I'm going to submit my profile, my CV, that they will call me. And if they call me for that interview, it's a done deal.
They done deal. Right?
So what more? What more? It's a different me. Nothing phases me. I have self-confidence. Before I would have been feeling like, maybe you can't do this thing. No, this thing is beyond you. But there's nothing that I feel like is unattainable for me, literally anymore. And that is, look, fantastic. It's more than I paid for. You get more from it than your money that you invested in it. What else? Some people, they do programs and they deliver parts on it. They deliver on parts. This one over-delivers. It will do what it said it will do and more. So what else is there to say?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. It's like you're already giving your round of speech and everything like that. And I'm just smiling because it's so heartwarming to say, I don't think anybody has come onto my program. I don't think so. That doesn't use it to teach another person. I don't think so. I remember there was one woman that she used to work at First Bank. She's no longer in the country right now. She used to work at First Bank. She came on maybe the early batches and she said, Doc, at that time I was not even looking to, I was just looking to this thing. But as she taught me, one of my junior colleagues had told me he was going to change jobs and he was going for an interview. I just called the guy and said, come, let me teach you a thing or two about what doctor taught me. And the guy went to the interview. He said that the kind of confidence I gave the guy on how we should approach this. And so the guy came back and said, Ma, you will not believe that I looked them in the eye and asked them for 5 times of what they were supposed to pay me. He said, not as a guy that did you say, I got it. As in, the guy was like, what? Ma, like, you know that I was not that the guy was not telling her that I cannot even believe that you told me to go and do this thing. I did it. And I got 5 times my current pay. And you're like, when she came back, she was like, Doc, I did not use this for myself. I just used it for my junior colleague and said, go and try it out. One of my coaches taught me this, try it out and you're going to get that amount of, you're going to get what you need. So I tried it out at that interview and it worked. And as for me, I don't think there's anybody that comes on this program, they say how good it is or the programs we run, they would always go and teach one person that utilizes it and will say, oh, like what? It works like magic. And where you ended it is where my greatest joy is. Confidence level. I feel like that is the biggest win that happens for people on these programs. A lot of us, even when people see us outside and I mean like, you're looking at this thing, but I always say there's nobody that exists that their next confidence level, their next distinct level may not scare them a little. In fact, I always say, if it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough, right? But in it scaring me is me knowing that, I need to do this extra work to get this thing done. So whenever I say something scares me, like it's not because it is not important. Forget, it's no longer imposter syndrome. It is now like, okay, the goal is really huge. And I just need to sit down and strategize on how I am going to conquer it. And I like what you said, that nothing inundates you anymore. Like you look at it and it's like, is that all? Like, is that all? I don't get into a room anymore and feel like you call one money, you call $100,000. Do you understand? That kind of like, and I think these people, especially in the global space, they see it. They see it, like they feel it. The kind of aura you come into in the room, in interviews, in even how you write your CV, cover letter, everything. The language. There was a thing I taught to people in the cover letter. I said, the language. I'm not begging you. It is you that needs me. Do you understand? The language, the framing of the language is different. And when they can sense that framing, they're like, okay, what amount of, like, what does this person carry? What do they bring to the table that is giving them this amount of confidence? And that sometimes is what wins in that kind of space. The confidence that they can feel through your writing, through how you speak, and through your entire aura is entirely different, and it helps you win. And if you're in this room, whether you've come on any of our programs or not, like, please if you don't take anything away, take this thing that I just said away from this particular thing. Like, there are some things that it is not in your technical skill. It is not like I'm a project manager can do it. It is not in your technical skill. It is in the subtle things that you cannot get certification for. You cannot get certified for confidence. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's no certification for it, but it gets you the job. It gets you the opportunity. It gets the job done. And that is what I keep telling people. When people can say, we like it, I say, certificate for what? Like, I teach you to show up in the room like a boss and you want to get certified for it? No. Like, it doesn't get certified. But when you have it, you have it. And that is all that is needed. Now, your last or parting words in tonight's session. What are the things, anything at all, it can be anything like that you like to see in this?
My parting word is that confidence has no price tag. You can't buy it. So if coming through here, you get confidence for free, because I'm trying to package it in a very nice way, like confidence has no price tag. If you see someone that offers you the opportunity, jump on it.
Thank you very much. And Mary, I can see some people asking questions in the community. Mary, can you take a screenshot of that particular question for me? You can go and ask us in the community. I don't want us to exceed 10 p.m. West African time tonight. So there are some questions we'll probably need to take in the community. So Mary, just take a screenshot. I think Mr. Sahid Ghani, you had asked the question, Dr. A, thank you. Thank you for Titi Park for this. Somebody has said, thank you, Titi Park, for this actionable insight. What's WFS? WFS is Workplace Fundamental Skills Program. Mary, please drop the link to the WFS in the comment, or Mohina. I don't know whether it is Mary or it is Mohina, right? As in, drop the link to that. And if you're in any of our communities, if you are watching me on Instagram, you could just click the link at the top of my page. You will see an all program link. That is all the programs we offer is a link tree. If you're on Instagram, click that link tree. You'll see the Workplace Fundamental Skills Program there and all the programs we offer. Or if you are listening to me on YouTube, you can just type www.itrainafrica.com/our products. That is OURPRODUCTS, our products with an S. That's the URL, itrainafrica.com/our products. You will see the Workplace Fundamental Skills Program there and every other program that we have talked about today, which is the Global Opportunities Program. And please take note that the next batch of the Global Opportunities Program officially, the support officially kicks off on November 7. But please, the GOP program is an application-based program. You can, Mary can also drop the link to the GOP where you have to apply. We need to look at if you fit the criteria of the program before you can go ahead to pay. But for the WFS, it's you can actually just look through the sales page and go ahead and pay. And yeah, you get access to pre-recorded courses. My advice, I always say, when you want to come on my program, you will have to study anyway. So take 3 minutes of your time to study the sales page. That is a page where we have all the information about the program. Now, if you now have more questions, you can then send us a message on WhatsApp, +234 805 345 3099, +234 805 805 005 and 345 3099. That's the number. If you're on Zoom, they've dropped it in the comment section. If you're on Instagram, the link at the top. And if you're on YouTube, just pause this video, type out the number, +234 805 345 3099, or visit itrainafrica.com, and all the things you are looking for will be there. And of course, my name is Dr. Adenisola Adepoju. I'm the founder of iTrain Africa and the Skip for Work Academy. I'm a global citizen and a global opportunities expert. And I think I'm on a mission to ensure that no African ever comes and say the reason I cannot access global opportunity is because there is no blueprints program, or I did not know something like this existed, or there is nobody to teach me those things that are not this thing. Aziza is raising up her hand. I think, Aziza, quickly for 1 minute, can we have you?
Thank you, Doctor. You know, I feel so blessed to have met you. I get so emotional. I get so happy. I don't even know the right word because it is more than confidence. Oh my God, I don't have the right word. Just to say thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you, and thank you. May Almighty Allah continue to bless you and grant you more knowledge and wisdom. Thank you for bringing me light. Thank you for lifting me out of darkness, because when you don't have knowledge about something, you are in the dark and you are blind. There's nothing about it. I show up differently. My confidence is top notch. The way I talk, the way I relate, it is totally different. And everybody is like, what's up with this girl? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And thank you so much. I'm glad that you're echoing the same thing that Titi Park had said in terms of confidence. You cannot put a price tag to confidence. That was exactly our word. There is no price tag to confidence, and it comes from a place of you knowing what you know. When you know what you know, you enter a room, nobody can tell you nonsense because you know exactly what you know. Thank you so much, Titi Park, our guest for tonight, for joining us, and for everybody that joined us YouTube, Instagram, here on Zoom. Thank you for spending the last 1.5 hours with us. And if you are an alumni of the academy, you are in the wrong place. You're on the other side of the road. Please join us in the academy where people are actually succeeding on a low key. I tell people that the number of success we actually talk about, it's not up to 1/, is about 20% of actually what happens in people's lives. There was a time that it said that there's something I don't want to say it yet. It happens a lot for other people in this community. And we're like, but that person that you say, no, you don't even have to say it. You understand? The ones you can say, fine. The ones you can't say, because there are some wins that are so big for certain people in this community that we can't even talk about it. Do you understand? And I say to everybody that comes around, may your win be so big that we even have to hoard the knowledge, that we have to hoard certain information about that win. Right? Right? May your win be so big. Thank you so much, everybody. And
Thank you, Doc.
very
Good
great
night.
person.
Look
Yeah,
forward
good
to
night,
seeing you on
everyone.
Saturday
Good night,
by God's
everyone.
grace. Good
See you
night.
in Ibadan. See you in
By
Ibadan.
the grace
Ibadan,
of
give it
God.
to.
By the grace of God, Ibadan.
Yeah.
We will see you.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank God. Dr.